it's Brijin the Museum Stitcher. Today I'm going to be walking you through how to do the one-stranded loop method. My friend Elizabeth of Frizzy Lizzy Stitches here on FlossTube taught me how to do this, and it is so easy. It's a great way to anchor your threads when you're working with one strand, or even if you're working with two and you don't have a loop anymore, like an extra bit of floss that you're trying to use up. It also works great if you want to start your thread from the top of your fabric and you don't want to flip it over if you're working on a stand like this one here. So I'm going to go ahead and show you on Aida first. I'll show you how to do it over one stitch and then also over two if you are an over two stitcher on a linen or an even weave. So you're going to start by picking your starting stitch and you're going to thread your needle just like normal. And you're going to go down from the top of the fabric through the top left of your stitch. And you're going to leave a bit of a tail, just like that. Then you're going to come up, scratch your Aida. You're going to come up in the top right. And then you can pull it, but make sure that tail doesn't disappear. And this might take you a couple tries of practice. It definitely did with me. I like to leave a longer tail when I'm working with silk than I am with cotton. This is just a piece of DMC I had lying around. You're then going to go down through that same hole you just came out of. And don't pull that too tight. You want to leave a loop just like that. Then we're going to come up in the bottom left, right under where your hanging thread is. Give it a little pull, but don't lose that loop. You're then going to thread your needle through the loop and give it a pull. And you're going to go back down through the top right. You'll be tempted to go through the bottom left. Don't do that. Back down through the top right again. And you're going to see that knot that we've created. You want to pop that to the back. And then you're going to give that a little tug. If it pulls all the way through and unthreads, you might have accidentally gone back down through the loop you created. That's okay. It happens. It takes some practice to get used to this one. We're then going to come back up in the bottom right, give our stitch a little tug, and there we go. We're then going to drop our needle and cut off this extra bit of floss here. I don't go too close to the fabric, go a little bit just to give it some space to pull back behind, and then we can complete our X just like normal. And that stitch is not going anywhere. And then I can continue to make my crosses just like that. So whether you're working the Danish method or the English method, you'll be able to continue your stitches. So that is how to do it over one square of Aida. But I'll go ahead and I'll cut this off here. And I will show you how to do it if you're stitching over two threads. So if you imagine that this fabric is linen, which you're typically stitching over two, which means if this was my stitch, I would count, skip a hole up to the next one, and my X would go over two squares versus just over one. You're going to do it the exact same way. So you'll pick your stitch, go down through the top left. Then we're going to count and we're going to skip a hole, go up through the top right, leave a tail. We're going to go back down in the same hole we came out of. Then we're going to go back to where we have our hanging thread, down and skip a hole, up the next one, pull and leave a loop, go through the loop and give it a tug, go back down through the top right, pop that knot to the back. Then we're going to go to our bottom left corner, skip a hole, back up, give it a pull. Our thread is nice and anchored. Then we will go ahead and snip the extra and complete our stitch. So if you imagine that each one of these Aida squares is a square of your linen, that's how you would do this stitch over two. Obviously, you'll get better coverage if you use more strands on this 14 count Aida, but that is definitely how this stitch is worked. Now, I did mention that you can do this with 2 strands, so let me go rethread my needle and I'll go ahead and show you how you can complete this stitch with 2 strands on your needle. Okay, I've come back. I have 2 strands on my needle and you can see that there is not a loop on the end, which happens sometimes when you have a piece of floss that you've used a couple stitches and then you cut it and you still want to be a little bit more economical and use all of your thread. So we're going to follow the exact same steps. We are going to pick our starting spot and go down, top left. We will come up in the top right, leave a tail. Your tail is just going to be a little bit thicker this time. Back down in the same hole we came out of, leave a loop. Up in the bottom left, thread the loop, give it a pull, back down in the same top right, pop the little knot back up through the bottom right corner, give it a tug, not going anywhere. Then we will go ahead and trim our extra and complete our stitch. And there you have it with 2 strands. So I find this is a really versatile way of starting my threads. As a primarily linen stitcher, I rely on this a ton since 1 strand is my go-to method. So I hope this was helpful, and go ahead and let me know if you tried this, and go ahead and feel free to rewind the video and watch it back if you have any questions or struggles. Happy stitching!